Hey guys, it's Minister Thomas with another daily proverb for you. And today we're talking about Proverbs chapter 3, as you see here on the screen. The two subjects we're going to be talking about is trusting in the Lord with all your heart, and blessed is the one who finds wisdom. Now, these are pretty important subjects, so I have a lot to say, so please just perk your ears up. But let's hear what the Lord has to say to us today. Let's start by reading the section on trusting in the Lord. My son, don't forget my teaching, but let your heart keep my commands, for they will bring you many days, a full life, and well-being. Never let loyalty and faithfulness leave you. Tie them around your neck, write them on the tablet of your heart. Then you will find favor and high regard in the sight of God and man. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and do not rely on your own understanding. Think about him in all your ways, and he will guide you on the right paths. Don't consider yourself to be wise. Fear the Lord and turn away from evil. This will be healing for your body and strengthening for your bones. Honor the Lord with your possessions and with the first produce of your entire harvest. Then your barns will be completely filled and your vats will overflow with new wine. Do not despise the Lord's instruction, my son, and do not loathe his discipline. For the Lord disciplines the ones he loves, just as a father the son he delights in. Now, there's a lot been said here, and y'all got to forgive me, I'm kind of itchy tonight. But there's a lot been said here. First of all, don't forget the teaching of your fathers, but let your heart keep their commands, for they will bring you many days of full life and well-being. Why is this? Because we learn from the experience of those who have come before us. We learn from those who have walked the road ahead of us if we will listen. We can save ourselves many hurts, heartaches, and troubles if we will only hear the practical instruction that is laid before us when we're young. Alright, now it goes on to continue to talk along the same line in the next verse here. It's really the next two verses, as you see. I'm highlighting here. Never let loyalty and faithfulness leave you. Tie them around your neck. Write them on the tablet of your heart. Then you will find favor and high regard in the sight of God and man. When is it that we find high regard and favor in the sight of God and man? It is when we never let loyalty and faithfulness leave us. If we tie them, talking about loyalty and faithfulness, around our neck and write them on the tablet of our heart, you see, these things are important to the believer. And they're important to those who would hear God's commands. You see, God looks for a loyal people, a faithful people. He's not looking for some fly-by-night believer. And it's because of this that he says this through his servant Solomon. Now, we all know the next two verses. If we've been around Christian circles any time at all, we know these verses. And y'all will have to forgive me, my computer's being kind of slow here. They say, trust in the Lord with all your heart, and do not rely on your own understanding. Think about him in all your ways, and he will guide you on the right paths. Alright, now, really, we need to expand this. Y'all forgive me here. We need to include verses 7 and 8 in this. They say, don't consider yourself to be wise. Fear the Lord and turn away from evil. This will be healing for your body and strengthening for your bones. Why is this? If we trust in the Lord and we think about him in all our ways, and we don't rely on our own understanding, then we're not going to consider ourselves to be wise. We will fear the Lord and we will turn away from evil. This is what is healing to our body, because we will never get sick from things that we would have walked into otherwise. And it is strengthening for the bones because it gives us courage because we're living a right life. Do y'all see this? Solomon is laying out a practical step-by-step system here by which we can live a holy life before God with his help. Now, we have some practical instruction in verses 3 through 12 here. And this is probably going to be one of my longer videos. I do apologize in advance, but I think it's well worth reading into and really understanding the scripture by the scripture. Verses 9 through 12 here are huge, important. If y'all will bear with me, it's two statements. It says, honor the Lord with your possessions and with the first produce of your entire harvest. Then your barns will be completely filled and your vats will overflow with new wine. Do not despise the Lord's instruction, my son, and do not loathe his discipline, for the Lord disciplines the one he loves, just as a father the son he delights in. All right, practical here. And as we see all the way through Jewish tradition, where they are taking the spiritual and comparing it to the natural. Let's look at this here. Honor the Lord with your possessions and with the first produce of your entire harvest. Why is this? Because then your barns will be completely filled. In other words, you'll have everything you need, and you'll have excess to store away for later. But this is only if you honor God with what you have first. Do not despise the Lord's instruction, my son. All right? Now, this ties back into what we just read here. Do not despise the Lord's instruction, my son. And do not loathe, in other words, do not hate his discipline. For the Lord disciplines the ones he loves. How so? Just like a father corrects the son he delights in. If a father really has a love and a care for you, and he delights in you, then he's going to correct you just as the Lord is going to correct you, so that you live a proper life. Now, just in this block, what have we talked about? We have talked about remembering your father's teaching. We've talked about practical ways to live this out. We've talked about the benefits of remembering your father's teaching, and we've talked about practical ways in which we can walk before the Lord, not of our own righteousness, but of the righteousness he gives, and how we manifest that righteousness. This is what has been talked about just in this section. Now, as we get in to the next section here, which is about 22 verses long, y'all are going to see that what we just got through talking about is going to tie into this. Let's get to reading here. Happy is a man who finds wisdom and acquires understanding. Why? For she, this is wisdom and understanding, is more profitable than silver, and her revenues is better than gold. For she is more precious than jewels. Nothing you desire compares with her. All right. So what's it saying here? First three verses of our reading. What's it saying? A person is happy that finds wisdom and acquires understanding, because wisdom and understanding is more profitable to him than having silver, and her revenue is better than gold. She's going to net these things. She's going to net provision, but she's more valuable than that. She is more precious than rare jewels. Nothing you can desire will compare with her. Now, I don't know if y'all understand this or not, but our God is a good God. He provides the absolute best for us. Here, he has provided the best. This is wisdom and understanding. It goes on to say in verse 16, long life is in her right hand, and in her left riches and honor. You see, God provides for what we need. He's revealing himself as Jehovah Jireh, our provider. Now, let me ask you this. What is her character like? It talks about this in verses 17, 18, and I believe verse 19. It says, her ways are pleasant, her character is pleasant, and all of her paths are peaceful. She is a tree of life to those who embrace her, and those who hold on to her are happy. Now it talks about that God founded the earth by wisdom and established the heavens by understanding. By his knowledge the watery depths broke open and the clouds dripped with dew. Maintain your competence and discretion, my son. Don't lose sight of them. They will be life for you and ornament for your neck. Now, we talked about up here, and I'm going to go back up. We talked about that loyalty and faithfulness should be tied around your neck. Now, the amazing thing is this. The amazing thing in all this is this. Down here, it compares those to wisdom and her being an ornament, a decoration on your neck that is beautiful and attractive. So it's saying that wisdom's going to give you beauty and make you attractive before others. Uh-oh. So in other words, we now have God decorating his children with his best. Then you will go safely on your way and your foot will not stumble. This is talking about the way we live. When you lie down, you will not be afraid. You will lie down and your sleep will be pleasant. Don't fear sudden danger or the ruin of the wicked when it comes, for the Lord will be your confidence and will keep your foot from a snare. When it is in your power, don't withhold good from the one it belongs to. Don't say to your neighbor, go away and come back later. I'll give it tomorrow when it is there with you. Don't plan any harm. Do you hear the practicality in this, guys? Don't plan any harm against your neighbor, for he trusts you and lives near you. Don't accuse anyone without cause when he has done you no harm. This goes back to the 10 Commandments. Thou shalt not bear false witness, especially when he has done no harm to you. Don't envy a violent man or choose any of his ways, for the devious for the devious are detestable to the Lord, and he is a friend to the upright. All right, y'all did hear that, right? Why we don't envy a violent person or choose any of his ways? Because the Lord equates him with the devious, and it says that they are detestable to the Lord. It also says that he's a friend to the upright. It's drawing a stark comparison here between being upright and not being upright. The Lord's curse is on the household of the wicked, but he blesses the home of the righteous. He mocks those who mock, but gives grace to the humble. The wise will inherit honor, but he holds up fools to dishonor. Now, all this is practical instruction. You can take it at face value and not miss a beat. I'm going to end it with this. Let's remember this. Let's always remember this. Memory verses for today is this. Verses 13 through 17. They say, happy is the man who finds wisdom and who acquires understanding. For she is more profitable than silver, and her revenue is better than gold. Long life is in her right hand, and in her left riches and honor. Her ways are pleasant, and all her profits peaceful. Let's remember that today. We don't have to live a fighter's life. We can live a very peaceful, calm, joyous life in Jesus Christ. I say God bless you and good day, and I hope this blesses you today.